This guy cannot stop flopping, but he just became MVP, NBA champion, and Finals MVP all in one season. But how did Shai Gilgeous-Alexander turn basketball's biggest controversy into his greatest weapon and fool the entire NBA? Well, stick around to the end because you're about to find out. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, often called SGA, just had a basketball season for the ages. He won the Most Valuable Player award, led his team to an NBA championship, and was named the Finals MVP, the best player in the championship series. He did all of this while being known as one of the craftiest players in the league. But how did he do it? Let's break down his journey from his humble start to the top of the basketball world and why everyone talks about his flops. Shai's journey began far from the bright lights of the NBA. He was born and raised in Canada, where he fell in love with basketball as a kid. Growing up, Shai practiced hard and dreamed big. In high school, he even moved to the United States to play against tougher competition, spending his senior year in Tennessee. His talent blossomed quickly, and he earned a spot at the University of Kentucky, a school known for producing great basketball players. In just one college season at Kentucky, Shai showed enough skill to impress NBA scouts. He averaged about 14 points and 5 assists per game in college, proving he could run a team as a point guard. In 2018, his dreams came true. He entered the NBA draft, where teams picked new young players, and he was selected in the first round. The Charlotte Hornets chose Shai with the 11th overall pick, but he didn't stay with Charlotte for long. On draft night, Charlotte traded Shai to the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers had actually drafted another player, Miles Bridges, at pick number 12, and they swapped him plus some future picks to get Shai. It's rare for a lottery pick to be traded immediately, but the Clippers saw something special in Shai. Shai started his NBA career with the Clippers as a rookie in the 2018-19 season. He was a tall, lanky point guard with a smooth style. He wasn't a superstar yet, but he played pretty good. In fact, Shai even got to start in the playoffs in his very first year, showing great achievements for a rookie. He averaged about 11 points and 3 assists that first season, and more importantly, he proved that he could compete against top players. Shai also showed glimpses of his craftiness. He watched and learned from veteran teammates and opponents. He once mentioned that he studied players like Chris Paul, Patrick Beverley, and James Harden to improve his game. Harden, in particular, is known for drawing fouls and foul baiting, so it's interesting that Shai paid attention to that part of the game early on. Little did anyone know, that foul drawing skill would become one of Shai's signatures in the years to come. After one promising year in Los Angeles, Shai's path took another major turn. In the summer of 2019, the Clippers were chasing superstar forward Paul George to team up with Kawhi Leonard, and in order to get George, the Clippers made a blockbuster trade with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was a centerpiece of that trade. The Thunder received Shai as well as veteran Danilo Gallinari and a bundle of first-round draft picks in exchange for Paul George. It was a franchise-altering deal, and the Clippers were giving up a future star for a current star to try to win immediately. Meanwhile, the Thunder were entering a rebuild and saw Shai as a potential new leader for their team. After that season, the Thunder fully committed to youth. Chris Paul was traded away, and Shai became the focal point of the team. Over the next couple of years, the Thunder weren't championship contenders. In fact, they were near the bottom of the standings as they developed young players. But Shai kept improving every year. He worked on his shooting, strength, and yes, his ability to draw fouls on drives. Even when the team wasn't winning much, Shai's individual performances were turning heads. He had games where he scored 30, 40 points, and he started to build a reputation as an elite slasher. By the 2022-23 season, Shai's hard work showed incredible results, and he averaged over 30 points per game that year and became one of the top scorers in the entire NBA. In fact, Shai was named to the All-NBA First Team in 2023, an honor given only to the best 5 players in the league that season. He also made his first NBA All-Star appearance, but most people around the league realized that this kid from Canada is really special. The Thunder didn't make the playoffs that year, but it was clear that Shai was a superstar in the making. At just 24 years old, he was already one of the best guards in basketball. More importantly, Shai was developing a trademark style of play. He could change speeds on a dime, use long strides, and crafty dribbles to get into the paint, and when defenders tried to stop him, he always made them commit fouls. Sometimes it was genuinely because he was too quick or clever to guard. Other times, Shai would sell the contact, meaning he'd exaggerate the hit, maybe toss his head back or fall down, to make sure the referee blew the whistle. Fans in OKC loved how often he got to the free throw line, but the fans of opposing teams really started to grumble that Shai was becoming a so-called flopper. Shai's flopping was about to bring Oklahoma City something it had never had before, an NBA championship. Everything came together in the 2024-25 season for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Oklahoma City Thunder. It was the kind of season that young players dream about. Shai was now in his prime, about 26 years old, and the Thunder front office had built a talented young core around him. Players like Jalen Williams, Josh Giddey, Luke Dort, and Chet Holmgren were all ready to shine. This Thunder team was the youngest squad in the NBA, but they grew up fast and started winning a ton of games. In fact, the Thunder finished with the best record in the league that season, 68 wins and only 14 losses. That kind of win total is phenomenal. It means that they dominated night in and night out. Shai led the charge with astounding numbers. He averaged about 33 points per game in the regular season, the highest in the NBA, and night after night he was putting up big points. And he did it efficiently too, shooting over 50% from the field. Shai wasn't just scoring, but he was also making his teammates better, dishing out around 6.5 assists per game. The Thunder offense ran through Shai's hands, and he usually made the right play, whether it was a smooth mid-range jumper, a drive to the hoop, or a kick-out pass to an open teammate. By the end of the season, there was a little doubt. Shai was the MVP of the league. When the NBA announced its 2025 MVP award, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander won the honor, a first for his career and a huge milestone for any player. He beat out other superstars like Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo for the award, and the trophy was handed to him by NBA Commissioner Adam Silver in front of the home crowd. Most valuable player means he was considered the most outstanding player in the NBA that year, and he certainly earned it. But what made Shai's MVP season so special? Aside from the stats and the wins, it was how he played. Shai had become a master of pacing and drawing contact, and he didn't really rely on sheer athleticism. Instead, he used changes of speed, hesitation dribbles, and clever footwork to keep defenders off balance. And whenever those defenders reached in or stood too close, Shai would make a move into them and often get fouled. Some of these moves turned into viral highlights and sometimes even memes. This is how it would usually go. He'd drive, he would feel a bit of contact, and suddenly fling the ball up toward the hoop while falling back. And often, the ball would somehow go in off the backboard and he'd get a foul call, a potential three-point play. Other times, even if the wild shot didn't go in, the whistle would blow and Shai would head to the free throw line for 2 shots. Shai led the league in free throws made, and it wasn't even close. During the 2024-25 season, he attempted around 11 free throws per game, which is one of the highest rates in the NBA. Fans jokingly nicknamed him the free throw merchant because he seemed to make a living at the free throw line.
7, so he's taken 7 free throws already in 4.5 minutes.
It's a reason NBA Twitter likes to call him the free throw merchant, Mike.
Julius-Randle giving some...
To put it in simple terms, Shai was better than anyone at getting fouled and scoring easy points from free throws. But before we follow Shai into those intense playoff battles, let's talk a bit more about the flopping phenomenon, because it's a huge part of the story. In basketball, flopping means pretending or exaggerating to be fouled. A player flops to trick the referee into calling a foul on the other team. It's been around in the NBA for a long time. Many stars and role players do it to gain an edge. Some famous players known for flopping or foul baiting include James Harden, LeBron James, Chris Paul, and Trae Young. These players, just like Shai, know that getting to shoot free throws is extremely valuable. A foul can also slow the game down or get an opponent's best player in foul trouble. But in short, flopping can help you win games, if the referees fall for it. However, it has a bad reputation, because it can look like cheating or acting rather than genuine athletic play. Fans and purists of the game get annoyed when they see a player go down with minimal contact, or snap their head back as if it hit hard when replays show it was just a light tap.
But, you know, it's so frustrating to play this team because they foul a ton. You know, they really do. They foul all the time. And then, you know, you can't really touch Shai. And it's a very frustrating thing, and it takes a lot of mental toughness to try to play through it.
Is get the same respect that everybody else in this league gets and get refereed the same way that everybody else in this league gets reffed. And enough is enough of it. And what you saw tonight was disgusting. It was a disgusting display of disrespect towards our guys and what we're trying to do. I'm disgusted by the way that game was officiated.
In fact, by 2025, the league introduced a rule to penalize flopping. Referees could give a technical foul if they caught a player blatantly faking a foul. But entering the 2025 NBA playoffs, the Oklahoma City Thunder were the top seed in the Western Conference. Still, some doubted them because of their youth. Shai and his teammates were mostly under 26 years old, and it might be proven that young teams struggle in the playoffs. But the Thunder were about to prove them otherwise. As the number 1 seed, the Thunder faced the number 8 seed in the West. They easily swept the Grizzlies in a 4-0 series run. And then in round 2, the Thunder had to face the Nuggets, the 2023 NBA champions. It was a really tough series and it went to Game 7. But in Game 7, the Thunder pulled away with almost a 30-point lead. Heading into the Western Conference Finals, the Thunder had to face Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves. For them, it was pretty easy though, because it only took 5 games for them to win, and the last game was a 30-point sweep. But then here comes the NBA Finals, the Indiana Pacers versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. This was a very intense series, and in the first game, something already crazy happened. At the last second, Tyrese Halliburton hit a buzzer beater to defeat the Oklahoma City Thunder. This was an insane Tyrese Halliburton moment as
Halliburton driving, pulls off, jump shot, pulling up, and hitting! It's good! It's good! With 0.3 of a second remaining! Timeout, OKC! Tyrese Halliburton does it again. 0.3 of a second to go. How many more times can this team do that?
But in Game 2, the Thunder fought back and they won. But then in Game 3, the Pacers took over and won. And you guessed it, in Game 4, the Thunder won. It's basically just a back-to-back winning. But in Game 5, the Thunder won again. So now the series score is 3-2. And if the Thunder win once more, then they are crowned NBA champions. But you already guessed what happened. Because in Game 6, the Pacers won. So heading into the final Game 7 of the NBA playoffs, one everyone has been waiting for, the final game of the year. This is the most important game of SGA's life. But fortunately for SGA, Tyrese Halliburton got injured in the first quarter, which is very sad, but it did give OKC a huge advantage now. With the Pacers' leading scorer out for the rest of the game due to a torn Achilles, now the Thunder have to win. And you guessed it, they did. So just like that, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander won MVP, Finals MVP, and an NBA championship all in one season as being known as the Flopper. And in the final celebration, one image stands out. It was Shai on the championship podium, holding the trophy with confetti in his hair. He's smiling from ear to ear, and after the hugs and cheers, he takes a moment to address the crowd. He says they thought we couldn't do it. He says they thought wrong. The fans erupt in applause, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, an MVP, champion, and yes, one notorious flopper, had the last laugh all the way to NBA glory. So no matter if you hated him or loved him, he will always be on the winning side. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you actually enjoyed, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe as it helps out a lot. And YouTube thinks you're gonna like the video that's gonna pop up, so click on it. And please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Bye.